Next, I'd like to show you how to edit a PDF file. I'll also show you when you're dealing with the HTML page that you've created and with a Word document. As you can see in my first module here under class information, I have the course calendar, and you'll notice that it's a PDF file. And when you scroll down here and look at module week 1, you'll notice I have an HTML page that I've created, and down even further you'll see that I have a Word document that I've uploaded. So there's 3 different kinds of documents here, and I'm going to show you each one and how you can do some editing. So for my course calendar, you'll notice there's a little action button here on the side, and you'll notice there's another button over here. This is the how you change the completion method for the course calendar. So I click on that, and I can say either automatic completion or manual completion or no completion tracking at all. This is how you track if a student has opened the document or not. And remember when I showed you in the student view, there was a bar across the top of the student view, and it showed the percentage of the course they had completed. And it also showed little check marks here at the side telling them whether they had opened that document or not. And remember, I told you that you would have a choice on setting those. So either automatic just means when the student opens the course calendar, it will put a check mark beside it in his view showing that he's opened it. If you choose manual completion, then when the student opens the module, opens the course calendar, they would have to manually check that off themselves, saying that they opened it. And then you can also say that you're not interested in tracking what the students have completed or not. You still would get their reports that show what they've opened and what they've completed and what they've not opened when you run a report. But this is just a quick visual way of seeing what they've opened and what they haven't opened. So the arrow over here gives me some choices to edit the property. I can download the course calendar, the PDF. I can move it down, or I can move it to another area. Then also I can publish it to the LOR, or I can delete the topic. So you can do a few actions here. I'm going to say edit the properties of this PDF. So you can see that I can add a little course description here if I'd like to, and say that this is the calendar we will follow throughout the semester. And you'll notice here on the side there are a few items. So you've got the spell check as your first item. This is your source code button. This is preview button, so you can preview what it's going to look like. And then this one would toggle you to a full screen. I'm going to go over here and say update because I'd like that to be entered underneath that PDF file. Also, I can add a restriction. I can save it as a draft so the students would not be able to see it until I'm ready to publish it. So that makes it nice if I'm working on an HTML page or I've uploaded a PDF file, but I'm still kind of working on it and may want to upload a newer version before they view it. I could save it as a draft. The second thing that's nice is add a restriction, which also you can add a start date that they can view the item and an end date when they cannot see it anymore. Also, you can add a due date here. So The release conditions, when I set those up, then I would create that. I'm just going to say update here. I'm not going to add any restrictions on this one, but it gives you those options. So in my PDF that I have, if I've decided I wanted to change the name, I would just click right here and change the name. If I just wanted to, let's say I'm just going to change it to calendar, and that's how I wanted to have it, just called calendar. Or maybe I've decided I want to call it semester calendar. I really like the name of course calendar because it lets the students know this is the course calendar we're going to be following throughout the semester. So those are some options for editing your PDF file. I'm going to scroll down here to week 1, where you'll see I have a HTML file, and this is HTML pages that I've created. You'll notice the little green with the picture of the world. And under my response, you'll notice this is an HTML page that I've created. I've got some links in there, and you'll notice down here at the bottom when you scroll down that you kind of have a mini version of your table of content of week 1. So you can do some work in here if you want to move and reorder things, or you want to change the automatic completion to manual completion on one of your items, or if you'd like to edit one of those items, you would just click on that. The other thing that you have here is the options to edit my HTML page, and you can see that it opens up in a little word processing area, which gives me the choice of a lot of different things to do to be able to edit. You'll notice all the menu across the top here, all the regular things that you're normally using, and you'll notice you have a few items down here that I went over before. Let's say I make a few changes, or I want to change the title. The title is up here. I can change the title up here. And then I am just going to say update, or you can revert to draft. So let's say I've decided I don't want the students to see it right now. I can change it to draft. I'm just going to say update so I can go back to my regular place. And now you've noticed that I've got a little bit of stuff up here. Bookmark. Remember we talked about bookmarking different things, and you'll notice it says remove bookmark. So that shows me that I already have this item bookmarked, and this would open the item in a new window. If you click on that, you'll notice a new window opened up. You close that window, and you'll notice there's a next button. So that means I can go on to the next item that runs after my response. So if you look down here in the module, you'll see after my response is a PDF, and then 2 items down is a Word document. So rather than clicking here to go to the Word document, or going back up here to my breadcrumbs where I could click on week 1, go back even to table of contents, I'm just going to click next, which will take me to my PDF that I have. And you'll notice that this PDF is like what I showed you before. You'll see if you hover over this area that you can make this PDF smaller. You can make it larger. You can zoom in and zoom out. This is just a quick zoom in, zoom out. This is just step by step. You'll notice it gets a little smaller. And then there's the area where you can save that PDF, or you can print the PDF. Also, you can download the item right here. Now I want to move on and find a Word document for you so I can show you how the Word document looks a little bit different. I'm going to go to Next, which will take me to assignment 4, which is the HTML page. and then I'm going to go next, and now you'll notice that I'm on a Word document. On this Word document, you'll notice that it opens up in the window. All of these documents open up in this window here, which makes it ADA compliant, easier for screen readers to read. You'll notice at the bottom here, I've got the download option. There's also a button here to download the item if I'd like to download it. There, if you scroll down, you'll see I've got that menu of week 1 that I'm working in. I'm working in module 1. It also gives me the options to, if I want to change that automatic completion to manual, it gives me that item here to publish this item or save it as a draft, add it to the learning object repository, or if I want to add a description of this item. So I'm going to go back up. You'll notice that it says view as a page. Click on that. It will view it as a page item rather than as an item that I can edit. You'll notice there's 3 pages here. It lets me scroll from page to page, zoom in and zoom out, and I'm going to go back and view it as text. This is my Word document. So you can see the difference in how a Word document looks, PDF looks, and an HTML page looks. And you'll notice with the Word document and the PDF file, you really don't have the option to edit like you do the HTML page. The HTML page gives you that word processing option because you have built that page within D2L. So, that is all on this module, and we will get to the next thing in just a few minutes.